She never loved publicity. She was the opposite of me. I guess they say opposites attract. She always said she never did much, because hers was moving people that didn't stay still. I built crosses that would stay there, and she thought it was wonderful. It's just so amazing to have everybody here. Nate, where are you hiding? Up in the booth? Okay. I think it was about maybe 35 years ago when Maureen was a secretary for Dave Perdue that you came to work here. And she didn't tell me, but I realized she must have taught you everything. But it's amazing the time that has gone by, the past, the people, and there's so many people that wrote letters and said they're sorry they couldn't be here. They've moved and everything. But two of her brothers went to get on a flight Saturday, and the airlines canceled them and said you can go on Tuesday. One brother snuck in and got down here. I don't know if he had his passport from Massachusetts. He's here, so we just love them all, that's for sure. And I'll try to read my little notes here if I can't. My favorite son-in-law, Kirk, or my favorite grandson, Jake, will carry on the ball, because my favorite granddaughter, Tori, she's like her mother. She didn't want to say nothing. The Farkles are known for crying. Maureen and I were married 54 years, 10 months, and 3 days. Maureen is no longer struggling to breathe, but resting easy in the arms of Jesus. She was quiet, steadfast, and her faith was her anchor. She enjoyed the prayer closet so much. Well, I had to take my clothes out of the private closet and go to the small room. When she showed it to me, the moment I crossed the threshold, I could feel a thick, divine presence in that space. And it's still there today. Some of you have seen it, and it's a special place. She prayed blessings for thousands of people over her years, but no more than the prayers for her daughter Kelly, son-in-law Kirk, the kids Jake and Tori. They were her specialty. You guys got a few also, but they got many every day. We even had a girl in Africa that she wrote letters to every month. Maureen always talked about going home to be with Jesus. Now she can talk and listen to him in his presence. But when the nurse said, "What do you want to do in your final days?" she said, "I want to go home." And the nurse said, "Oh, good, we'll get hospice and send you home and everything." And of course, Maureen sat up in the bed and said, "Do you know Jesus? Let me tell you about him." She talked for about 5 minutes to the nurse. My daughter and I chuckled in the corner and said she never stopped. I'm sure she's already had a reunion with Denny Jr. 31 years ago, my brother Danny Jr., my brother-in-law Frank Thomas, Dave Perdue, who most of us know, Hank Phelps, who's up there, and all the other grandmas and papas that have been gone before us. I know everybody I talk to has somebody, a son, a daughter, a husband, a wife. It's amazing how we get through this life and it never hurts until it's you. Maureen's favorite Bible verse, of course we know, is Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. She has posters and paintings, and no matter where you go around the house. But I had to pick another favorite one. And this was when I was leaving the hospital for the last time. The Joy 9155 or something on the radio came on. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for what He has done. Philippians 4:6. I know that God gets me through every day, and I need a hug every day, and I know everybody else needs a hug. Maureen used to hug the kids in youth church when they came in to sign in every week. And some of them are worse than me. They just can't stop crying. I don't know. Break them in early. Thank you so much for being here.
I love you, Dennis.
Love you, Dennis.
I gotta sit down for this.
It's a tough act to follow. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jake Carson, Maureen's only grandson. And for those of you that do know me, you know I'm awful at giving public speeches. Nana, as me and my sister knew her as, was the most loyal, loving, humble, and respectful person I've met in my life. In the 3 years I played high school football, she never missed a single game. The thing I'm most thankful for when it comes to my Nana is her showing me how important God is. When I needed a prayer, I'd always text her and ask her to pray for me. And every time, or most of the time, that prayer would come true. I will always, her prayer room at home, where she prayed thousands of times, not only left an impact on herself, but me as well. I will always cherish our prayers in the prayer room with God watching down on us. Her last words to me were, Jake, never forget me. I will never forget you, Nana, and I love you forever. Thank you.
Kind of continue on with what Jake said. For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Maureen's only son-in-law, and
Favorite one.
it's kind of funny, when you think of, mother-in-laws, the media and everybody makes it all out to be, oh, my mother-in-law, but the woman was a saint. I mean, that's all I can say. She was the most special woman I've ever been around my whole life. I know when the 2013 Boston Marathon, they wore the shirts afterwards, Boston Strong. Maureen was Jesus Strong. She, they went through something that I can't imagine anybody going through, losing their son at 20 years old to a military plane crash. And she came back stronger than ever, her and Dennis. And, she never dwelled on it. She never wanted you to feel pity for her. She believed that she was going to see her son again one day in heaven, and she was always, looking out for someone else rather than herself. I've never seen a person that was so unselfish as Maureen was. I think myself right now, getting ready to hit that awful age, 50 this November, and I'm thinking, man, all right, I got kid number 1 getting ready to get out of the house, kid number 2, man, my wife and I, we're gonna do some traveling, we're gonna do all that fun stuff that people talk about once your kids are gone. Exactly. Not Maureen. Maureen, her father-in-law, he started to get sick, couldn't take care of himself. He's living with us. I'm quitting my job and I'm going to take care of him every day. And that's, and a lot of people don't know that about her. I'm taking care of him, and you know, he lived another 4 or 5 years with her basically being his beck and call every single day. Fast forward about 3 years later, Dennis's Uncle Jack, another amazing, great guy, World War II veteran, B-17 pilot, just amazing dude, lived out in San Jose, California. He started to get sick, couldn't take care of himself. Maureen was like, "You're living with us. I'm going to take care of you." I mean, there's just not many people that do something like that. To take a family relative in, living in another state, you know, 2,000 miles away, just lived for everybody else but herself. Just a special woman. As most of you guys know who are friends, family of Maureen, she's probably the most classiest woman that I've ever met in my life. When I'm not coaching football, I kind of like to dabble and cook and stuff like that. And when she'd come in and, you know, I'd make a meal for her, you know, the very next day in the post box, there'd be this elaborate 2-page letter thanking me for the dinner I made. I mean, who does that nowadays in this world we live in? You know, handwritten, beautiful handwriting. And she did it to everybody. My parents, when my parents would have them over the house, they'd get these elaborate letters. And I'm sure that she did it with many of you in here. Just an amazing, classy woman. One thing I will, you know, kind of leave off with, like, a funny story. Nana, over these last 15 years, you know, she was probably weighing about 100 pounds, and I always used to mess with Nana all the time, especially when her and Papa were golfing, and I'd hear about what the wind conditions were like. I'm like, "Puppy, you better put those ankle weights on her. That thing's gonna fly away." And, you know, I got some concerns there, but I always used to give her a hard time. Believe it or not, Nana was on Weight Watchers. I'm like, "Nana, you have no weight to watch." But when I realize it now, I'm like, she did it to be an example for Dennis. She did it for Dennis to lead a healthy lifestyle. She did it because she didn't want to see Dennis eating all those donuts at night. And so that's just who she is. She sacrificed because she knew that if Dennis was doing something, and she was going to put herself through it too, to make it all the more fair. Like I said, man, I'm fortunate enough to have an amazing mother, incredible stepmother, but Maureen was definitely my third mom, and she was an amazing grandparent, amazing sister, amazing aunt, to just so many, and friend to all of you guys here, and she will forever be missed.